Hello, St. Pete-Clearwater! See, that's the reaction you're supposed to have. As a personal note, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here to present today. My name is David Reichbach. I'm the Senior Director of Analytics for Destination Analysts. I almost forgot my company's name. And I'm just so excited to be here. The St. Pete-Clearwater area is one of my absolute favorite places in the entire world because it is not just one of the world's most beautiful beaches. In fact, like two of the world's most beautiful beaches. It is also, as you saw in the video and what Steve said, amazing arts and culture. I love all the street murals. They're some of my favorite things. Amazing nightlife, restaurants. I mean, this place just has so much character to it. So thank you for the opportunity just to be here, because this is a huge pleasure just for me. So I'm going to be giving you an industry update, and yes, I am 5'6" on a good day. Podiums don't work for me, so I will be standing out here in the middle. Thank you for that. I'm here to present the industry update from our State of the American Traveler study. For any of you who don't know us, Destination Analysts is a full-service market research firm. We do all different types of research, but we specialize in the travel and tourism space, and we help all of our destination clients with getting independent and unbiased research. The data that you're going to be hearing today comes from our State of the American Traveler study. It is the longest running tracking study of American leisure traveler perception, motivation, and behaviors. We've been fielding it since 2006. We currently field it monthly, and every month we talk to over 4,000 leisure travelers across the country to understand what their motivations are, what their hopes for the future are, and all the data that you're going to be hearing today, or a lot of it, comes from our most recent wave, which was fielded just at the end of January. Biggest hindrance to travel right now, on the top of mind of most American travelers, is economic concerns. So let's start there. We asked American travelers to agree or disagree with the statement, "I expect the United States will enter an economic recession sometime in the next 6 months." Currently, 57.2% of American travelers agree with this statement. Oops. And that is technically on a downswing from where it was just a couple months ago, but I attend many industry conferences. I talk to a lot of head economists across the country, and I can tell you that most economists and experts do agree that a recession will hit our country in 2023 this year. It's actually going to hit the entire globe. It won't just be a US recession, but it will be a mild one. I hope this is clear. Lead economists expect that Q2 and Q3 of 2023 will be in recession, but by Q4 we will be back in the green. So, be ready for it, but don't worry too much. This will be nothing like the Great Recession of 2008, 2009. You may not even notice it as it will pass. We asked American travelers, even with that knowledge, right now, am I being more careful with my money because I'm concerned about an upcoming recession? Currently, 61.4% of American travelers agree with this statement. That is also on a significant downswing where it was just a couple of months ago. So even though the majority of American travelers are concerned about their finances right now with the looming word recession, this is heading in the right direction, and we actually hope that this will continue to decrease. We asked American travelers to look forward. Do you feel that a year from now, you and your household will be better off financially than you were at this same time? 45% of American travelers think that they will be better off a year from now than they are today. Only 13% of American travelers really feel that they will continue to go downhill coming out of the pandemic. This is a data point that does shift up and down month to month, but in the last number of months we have seen a relatively upward trend. So I feel that there's a lot of positivity amongst American travelers in their economic mindset at the moment. Another one we ask American travelers about, we say, thinking about just your household's finances, do you feel that now is a good or bad time to spend on leisure travel? 30% of American travelers currently say that it is a good time or very good time. 32% say it is a bad time or very bad time. So right now it's split almost 50-50. And when we look at that line chart for the time series on if it's a good or very good time, it had been going downhill pretty dramatically over the last year, but just in the last month spiked hugely upward. And we actually expect that upward trend to continue. I don't think that is just variance in the data. We asked American travelers, thinking about how you expect to spend your income in the next 3 months, so the more short term, look at the future, what level of priority will travel spending be in your budget? Currently 56%, so just over half of American travelers say that travel spending will be a somewhat high or extremely high priority in their overall budget in the next 3 months. That's a really good outlook for where American travelers are, and that has stayed relatively healthy, although it did increase significantly just in the last month. The maximum expected annual travel budget amongst American travelers as reported in January is $4,407, which is nice and healthy and isn't looking like it's hitting a downturn either. In terms of travel prices and inflation, 2 metrics to share on this one. We ask agreement with the statement, high travel prices have kept me from traveling in the past month. You can see about 40% of American travelers currently agree or strongly agree. The dark blue line in the time series represents that agreement, the light blue line disagreement, and you'll notice that back in April of 2022, those lines crossed. So the agreement, the worry about high travel prices and inflation really started impacting American travelers back in April. We're seeing them get narrow, and I am praying to God that in the next month we see those lines cross again. Because I'm sure all of you have noticed inflation, although it is still real and still very much alive in our country, is starting to decrease. So fingers crossed, American travelers feel that way as well. Second metric on this, agreement with the statement, recent inflation in consumer prices has led me to cancel an upcoming trip. You'll notice that the dark blue line has not crossed the light blue line, which is a really good sign. It means there are not more travelers who are canceling trips because of inflation than there are not doing so. And it doesn't look like those lines are going to cross anytime soon. So, with all of those economic concerns, and yes, they are real, but it looks like they're heading each in a positive direction, we ask about excitement. Which best describes how excited you are about leisure travel in the next 12 months? 84.5% of American travelers show a above average level of excitement. This is at one of its highest point, actually the highest point, a record high, that since we've been tracking this study over 2 years ago. So coming out of the pandemic, really, really high excitement, and American travelers are more excited to travel now than they have been. Let's look at some travel sentiment indices. On the left side of the screen, I have the percent of American travelers who say they expect to travel more in the next 12 months than they did in the previous 12. On the right side, the percent of American travelers that expect to spend more than they did in the previous 12 months. The blue bar represents the average for all American travelers. The green bar, what we define and segment out as our Florida-oriented, the segment of American travelers who either have recently visited Florida or are likely to visit in the near future. And then the yellow bar at the bottom, the St. Pete-Clearwater oriented. And you'll notice that those bars get larger as you go down the chart, which is a really good sign, because the travelers who are most likely to visit you, the travelers who have already reported that they already love you, are more likely to travel than the average American traveler. And that's not an insignificant difference. That can mean thousands of visitors in difference, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in economic impact. So you guys are set up for a lot of success in the coming year. But let's talk about the coming year, because one of the great benefits of talking to over 4,000 American leisure travelers every month is we get to ask them to tell the future. And yes, I'm talking about crowdsourcing. We asked American travelers, think about 2023 and how likely do you think each of the following will be? Let's start with issues related to sustainability. As background for this first point, 11% of American travelers said that they were personally impacted by a natural disaster in the past 12 months. A third of that 11%, so not a huge proportion, but 37% said that when that happened, they changed the timing of a trip. 1 in 5 avoided a specific destination. 17% had canceled a trip already planned. And by natural disaster, we let them self-define, but it could have meant a hurricane, it could have meant a wildfire, anything across the country counted. When it comes to, by the way, no one expected hurricanes outside of the ordinary. That's common seasonality. I live in California. We don't have hurricane season, but we do have wildfire season. And I don't know why that there is a season for wildfires. There shouldn't be. Whoever names the seasons should not have that job anymore. But anyway, 69% of American travelers across the country currently think that wildfires will be a problem for the Western United States. And they are right. It's not funny. Only 6.4% have any hope for my place of residence. Anyway, on to more optimistic news. We asked about the war between Ukraine and Russia. We asked American travelers, do you think it will expand into other countries? Currently, 45% of American travelers think that it's likely to expand. 1 in 5 think unlikely. Let's turn back more nationally rather than looking globally. We asked American travelers, do you think popular national parks will be overrun with tourists? Currently, 39.4% of American travelers think that that is likely. Only 26.8% think it is unlikely. And when we cross-referenced or segmented this data point, it was the travelers who frequently visit national parks who say that the national parks will be overcrowded. Now, they might be right. They have the best knowledge on this, or they're the ones most sensitive to too many other people visiting national parks. National parks have had a lot of visitation since the pandemic started, and I can't say that they're wrong at all, but it is definitely more the visitors who are saying that. I'll be more proactive in reducing the impact of my travel on the environment, being more environmentally conscious. Currently, 39% of American travelers think that's likely. I love that they're giving us a likelihood about their own behavior. Like, how likely is it you're going to care about a tree today? 20% think it's really unlikely. So, this one is an important one, though. 51.4% of American travelers currently say that they feel it is likely that more authentic, less commercial travel experiences will grow in popularity. Now, I realize that we're asking them a likelihood scale here, but what I want you to take away from this is what they want to happen. The majority of American travelers want authenticity, less commercial. And if there's anything that I don't need to tell you, it's that the St. Pete-Clearwater area is set up for success here. You're one of the most authentic destinations out there. Keep pushing that authentic part, because that will serve you in the long run. Gasoline prices will fall significantly during the year. Who's hopeful? Only 30% of American travelers. 41% think that's really unlikely. Interest in investing in cryptocurrencies will decrease. Thankfully, half of American travelers, 50%, think cryptocurrencies are not going to be popular going forward. A quarter of American travelers, 23%, say that that's unlikely. We're still going to have Dogecoin or whatever the new one is. I'm not a cryptocurrency person, so please forgive me if I misspoke. Factoid. 16% of American travelers would like travel companies to accept payment via cryptocurrency. No, they're not going to. This is kind of a sad one. Price gouging will become more common in the travel industry. 63% of American travelers feel that that is likely this year, compared to only 9% of American travelers who think it is unlikely. Domestic travel will become generally more frustrating, and this is based on I'm sure you've heard the news over the holidays with Southwest completely breaking down, with every other flight being canceled in and out of almost every destination. 60% of American travelers feel that those frustrations traveling domestically will continue into the next year. Only 13% have any optimism. And actually, just to go back to that for one point, I don't have the data point in this slide, but I thought it was really interesting when we tested the actual reach of the impact over the holidays, specifically like Southwest breakdown and all of those canceled flights. Only 6% of American travelers were personally impacted by one of those flights. Over a quarter, it was like 27% of American travelers felt hesitant to plan a trip knowing those things happened. So much bigger impact than just the individual flights that were canceled. We all have to think about those things because we are all spokespeople on the travel and tourism industry, not just our destination. But anyway, labor shortages will continue to be a problem for the travel industry. 65% of American travelers, very sadly, think that that is likely. Only 11% think that we will solve the labor shortage issues. COVID-19 will largely be a thing of the past. 35% of American travelers think that's likely. 42% do not. Now, this is a really interesting one that gets a lot of debate because the world is, let's not speak for the world, our country is very much moved on from most COVID restrictions, and yet there is a current spike in cases. Now, because most of Americans are vaccinated and safe, catching COVID is no longer a death sentence. So the answer to this question may very much be a answer of safety versus technically asking, will COVID still be around? I think most scientists agree COVID will be around forever. But it doesn't mean that it's stopping people from traveling. So seeing that 42%, I don't want you to worry that all American travelers are going to be too scared to leave their houses again. That's not what this says. Let's talk about travel planning in the future. Background for this question: in the past 12 months, have you used any of the following social media platforms to prepare for or plan your travels? And when the influencers come up here, make sure to ask them their opinions on this. 27% use Facebook, 24% use YouTube. I love that we already colored the TikTok one, that kind of gives it away. 12% say that they use TikTok to prepare for or plan their travels. I'm sure it's not surprising that the younger generation, specifically Gen Z and millennials, were the most likely to say that they use TikTok. I can't get the sound away. Well, anyway, 38% of American travelers agree that TikTok will become America's most popular social network in the next year, compared to only 36% that don't think it will. When we look at who's saying TikTok will become America's most popular social channel, Gen Z and millennials are more likely than the other generations to say that it will, in fact, reach the top popularity. But it's not just them. When we compare, all people of color are more likely to say that TikTok will rise in popularity, LGBTQIA+, and disability status. We measure it as faces, challenges, traveling due to physical, mental, or emotional issue. Almost all of the diversity boxes feel that TikTok is going to be rising in popularity. So keep that in mind, especially if you're planning on marketing to any of those boxes, because we are important boxes. In the past 12 months, this is background for another one. In the past 12 months, have you used the opinions of a digital influencer to plan travel? Currently, 16.4% have used influencers to plan travel. They do inspire. And that has stayed pretty consistent over time. We've tested this many, many times, and it hasn't really dropped. So influencer marketing, I don't believe is going away anywhere. But what we asked American travelers in this most recent way, the appeal and use of social media travel influencers will decline. 27% think that's likely, much larger. 33% think that's unlikely. So you guys aren't going anywhere. Yeah. Okay, travel agents and advisors will be used more by travelers. 25%, a quarter of American travelers, think that travel agents and advisors will be used more. 33% say that that's unlikely. When we asked who thinks, and this will be a great crowd poll, which generation do you think said that use of travel agents and advisors will go up, will be more used? I'm hearing a lot of baby boomers. Well, if that's what you guessed, you would be wrong. Because it is actually Gen Z and millennials who are most likely. Okay, I'm still presenting here. Focus back on me. Another point we asked American travelers, artificial intelligence will begin to replace travel agents and advisors. I don't know how many of you have had the chance to play with ChatGPT, but it is fun. 38% of American travelers currently think that AI will replace travel agents. 30% do not. We do still need our human contact. Don't let the robots replace us. Likelihood to, I will purchase my first virtual reality headset. 16% of American travelers say I will purchase one of those things. 66.4% think that's really unlikely, so don't go into VR. The metaverse will start replacing real world travel. 21% think that's likely, 49% do not. So, although it is fun to have VR content, and I know that St. Pete-Clearwater did that a couple years ago and it was really cool, it's not going to be for the majority of American travelers. Let's not make that mistake. 2023 will be a great year for me personally. Yes. Can we all just say yes? 2023 will be a great year for me personally. 58.3% of American travelers agree with you, compared to only 12.5% that disagree. When we look at who American travelers will be great for is all generations. But for whatever reason, millennials are really optimistic. As a millennial, I have no idea why, but I'm really optimistic. I'd like to take a dream trip to somewhere exciting. I'll take a dream trip to somewhere exciting in 2023. 44.8% of American travelers think that's likely. So let's look at some travel motivations. What's getting people out the door and into your destination? We asked, I'm not even sure how many, it's like 25 different motivators, and we asked American travelers to think deeply about what motivates them. And we're currently looking at the very motivating or critically important, it's my rocket fuel. Top tier motivators, quality time with friends and family. I love that this is the one slide that didn't get edited properly, so the text is gone. But I will just tell you what it says because I remember. Experiencing new places, recharge and rejuvenate. Darn it, I knew I should have memorized this one better. Man. Okay, well, this slide isn't going to work as well, but thankfully, I wrote it down in my key takeaways. So, we're just going to forget that one. Key takeaway number 1 from today. Economic anxieties still exist, but are easing. Okay? Number 2. Further price gouging, labor shortages, increasing frustration with domestic travel experiences are among the top scenarios that American travelers feel likeliest to occur, but let's not forget, they also feel that 2023 is going to be a great year for them. Number 3, top motivators. Thankfully, I wrote them down. Quality time with loved ones, creating memories, experiencing new places, escaping the pressure of daily life, and recharging are top tier motivators for travel, and every single one of those St. Pete-Clearwater can provide. So, let's take a quick shift, a pivot, into some research that we did for Visit St. Pete-Clearwater last year, because now that you know why travelers are traveling, what's motivating them, I want to kind of align that with research that we did in terms of their brand perception study. We asked an open-ended question to American travelers. We said, when you think of St. Pete-Clearwater, Florida as a place to visit, what descriptions, experiences, or activities first come to mind? And this is unaided, meaning they could write in whatever they wanted. They could write in anything that came top of mind. There are 3 things I want you to take away from this word cloud, and I know most people think word cloud, pretty, but no. Number 1 is that beaches was the most written in thing. And yes, St. Pete-Clearwater has 2 of the world's most beautiful beaches in the world. But that is not all that St. Pete-Clearwater has. The second thing that I want you to take away from this is that the other things written in include beautiful scenery, relaxing, nightlife, museums. The Valley Museum specifically was written in a number of times. Sports, ocean, friendly, exciting, cool. I know dining's in there somewhere, and I love your restaurants here. I can't wait to have dinner in St. Pete. But the kind of last big takeaway is that the word don't know was written in. Not as large as beaches, but it was written in a significant amount. And what that tells us is that there is an opportunity to educate on what makes St. Pete a great place to visit. When we tested a number of not open-ended, we actually provided them with a list of attributes and said, tell us which ones you most closely associate with St. Pete. Tell us which ones are the not just closest associations with Pinellas County, but the strongest associations. That's the word I'm looking for. Up in the top right corner here, great value for what you pay is right up at the top. Great value for what you pay. With all of the economic concerns amongst American travelers right now, please focus on that one. It is a great value for what you pay. That'll get you somewhere this year. Outdoor recreational opportunities, beaches, mature travelers, scenic beauty, museums, and art. Those are definitely your strongest associations from a brand perspective. When we look down at the absolute opposite corner, one-of-a-kind place, younger travelers, and variety of things to do are your relatively weakest brand associations. It doesn't mean that those don't belong to you. It means that you'll have to work harder to put them in your messaging. Everything else in the middle there that I didn't highlight, the rich cultural atmosphere, the dining culinary scene, the overall visitor experience, transformative experiences, which is one of my favorite attributes to test. All of those were in the middle, and you absolutely have the ability to make that your brand and to push it forward. This is just a setup because next up on the speaker list is someone who's going to show you exactly how that brand is being communicated, and beautifully, if I might add. So I'm gonna go ahead and say thank you very much for your time.